Have you ever been hit with overwhelm, or maybe inflammation, or so much pain, confusion, you can't sleep, you can't lose weight, and you go, what is my problem? I'm doing this and this and this and this, and nothing seems to get better. Hi, I'm Cheryl Townsley and Wisdom Coach. Now you may wonder why I continually say Wisdom Coach. Well, you see, as a naturopath for almost 30 years, a naturopath means you know lots of information, but a Wisdom Coach means that you know how to put it together, not only for other people, but also for yourself in order to get real results. I want to share with you a story of something that happened to me regarding vertigo and dizziness after a significant fall, and share with you how that ties into what I just mentioned. Overwhelm, inflammation, pain, insomnia. What's the bigger story going on, and what's a key maybe nobody has ever shared with you that might just be the key to help you unlock some results that you've been looking for a very long time? So I want to lay a very tiny foundation. I want to share with you my story and what I discovered that I think can help you. You see, our brain is absolutely amazing. I'm not going to get into all of our neurology, but there's two parts of the brain that's very important for you to know about. There's this part of the brain, our frontal lobe, and that's where we make decisions, execute decisions, where we can play, notice, discover, and learn. Very important. There's another part of our brain back here, the brainstem cerebellum, and it determines safe and unsafe. It determines automatic reactions. It determines your capacity to do anything. And when these two are in conflict, this always wins. And if you're stuck back here and you don't know it, then all of your attempts to make decisions and execute them, eat the right food, be able to exercise, get past inflammation and pain, isn't going to succeed, because the perception back here of unsafe and diminished capacity is running your life. So how might that show up? Well, in many, many, many ways. I see it with clients all the time. Tens of thousands of clients over the last 30 years. I've done so many things with supplements and cleanses and perfect diets. And I am learning over and over and over in the last 5 years that if you don't understand the brain, you're missing the very biggest key. Now, how did that show up with me? Because I actually understand this. I actually understand how to work with my brain. I'm going to talk about a couple of tools. I just want to mention them here. I'll explain them later. This little chart is called a VOR-A. And it helps you stabilize your vestibular system, which is your sense of equilibrium. You know, this is something I do after every airplane flight. I do it on the moving escalator. Very, very easy for me. And it helps me reset after the ups and downs and going through different altitudes. Very, very easy. I'm going to talk about something called a pencil push-up. Even though this isn't a pencil, it's a ball, but it's got letters on it. Normally, this is super easy for me. But as a result of something that happened in my life, I couldn't do either one. But I knew how to assess, I knew how to interpret, and I knew how to rehab. And I want to give you an overview of this and then some resources depending on what you're looking for. So about a week ago, I went through a fall. It was called a face plant on concrete. Now I'm in my mid-60s, and typically people who do that in my age group, face plant on concrete, they break something or they might even die. Well, clearly I didn't die. I didn't break anything. I did it about 10 o'clock on Sunday, and I shared that story on Facebook on my public page, Cheryl Townsley, facebook.com/Cheryl Townsley. I shared that story, part one, part two, the mental part, and then the physical things I did to recover. Well, I recovered so quickly that by Monday I was back to normal, full load of clients, plus full load of clients videos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I thought, hey, Cheryl is doing great, because Cheryl is a master at performing and being able to achieve what most people half her age couldn't do. Well, I was noticing Thursday afternoon, I was starting to feel a little overwhelmed. But instead of paying attention to it, like I have learned how to do, that's my brain saying, we're still recalibrating from this face plant you did Sunday, and we could use a little bit of rest. I ignored it because I have decades of experience of pushing through to get results. And so even though I asked Forrest, hey, would you, reschedule this last appointment? He said, nah, it's just going to be 15 minutes. I looked at who it was and I thought, nah, it's not going to be just 15 minutes. And he said, yeah, they committed to it. So I knew I needed to rest. I asked for it. Forrest said, no, it's not going to need to happen. So I pushed through. It was a 90-minute, not 15 minutes. And it's really interesting because even within that client situation, there's another story. Those are the kind of stories I share in our Youthful and Fit community because they're the stories behind the stories that actually are amazing. But if you don't have context, they might not make sense to you. So halfway through that appointment, I could feel that I was feeling like my head was splitting. That was the phrase I remember thinking. Now I know exactly what that meant. My brain was splitting. I wasn't operating from here. I was operating from here, and things were shutting down. And I ignored it. I know better. You might not because nobody's taught you. So the pain just indicated my brain was totally in unsafe mode. I didn't pay attention to the red light. I just put duct tape on it. That doesn't take care of the problem. So my capacity was shrinking by the minutes and certainly by the hours. Continued to not address it Thursday night. Friday morning at 3 a.m. I woke up with severe vertigo. At first I couldn't even figure out what it was because I've never had it. I can do swings easily. I can do Ferris wheels easily. I can skydive easily. So I have a pretty good sense of vertigo, and I have been working on it by doing things like my VOR-A, which I'm going to explain, and pencil push-ups. But Friday morning, all of a sudden, everything was whooshing. Everything was just moving in circles, complete overwhelm. And at 3 a.m., wanting to go to the bathroom, I knew I couldn't set up. I couldn't figure out how to stand up. I couldn't figure out how to walk. So I woke Forrest up and I said, you got to help me. I don't know what's going on, but everything in my world is spinning. Now, who's in charge of that spinning? The brain. If you're not listening to this brain, it's going to get your attention. It can be an injury, it can be pain, it can be vertigo, eye fatigue, it can be all kinds of things. It can be nausea. But the symptoms will show up. And I just knew something was off. And so we dealt with that, got me back to bed. And the first thing I did then is I started to pray. Okay, there's not going to be a concussion. My brain is fine. I spoke peace and calm over my body. I fell back asleep. When I woke up about 6 or 7, which is late for me, nothing had changed. So I knew there was a problem. Now, I'm so thankful because Forrest and I are on this journey together. And Forrest was peaceful and calm. He wasn't in overwhelm and vertigo like I was. So he knew how to assess. As we work with clients, we teach people how to assess, to know the tools to use, and how to reassess. That is so incredibly priceless and valuable. So where I couldn't do it, he was the first member of my health team to show up. I live with him. It's the best one to have. Some of you don't have that. So having additional people in your health team is so important. So he began to help me. I couldn't do this. What is this VOR-A I keep talking about? Basically, the VOR-A means that you can put your eyes on a target and move your nose in different directions so that it's activating the vestibular system and the inner canals with the eyes to know where you are in space. So as I said, normally I can do this while I'm on the moving escalator at the airport. It's a piece of cake. I can do it on one foot. This is easy for me. But I was sitting down in the recliner and I tried to, let's back up. Let me show you how to do it when my brain is functional and feels safe. I can put my eyes on a target. I'll let the camera be my target. And I can go to one side, the other side while my eye stays on the target. My nose can go up and down. It can go different diagonals. Eyes are staying on the target. And even to this day, right now, I'm still rehabbing the lower diagonal because that's your peripheral vision down here, which got challenged with the fall the previous Sunday. So I'm learning how to rehab this. And since this was tricky Friday morning and I couldn't do it without waves and waves of nausea, we knew that my vestibular system was challenged. Now, it could be that the crystals inside the ear could be off. We knew how to assess that, not talking about it here. That wasn't the problem. We knew it was vestibular, and so we knew what to do. Now, in your case, you may not know how to assess, reassess, or the tools to use. You know what? That's actually a problem. It means you're missing having an incredible toolkit to help you at any point in time with any situation. And that's what we teach in all of our programs. In this particular case, I'm going to suggest one called Activate Your Brain, because that helps you understand the stress bucket, how important your eyes are, how important the cranial nerves are to the fuse box of your brain, and how to reset all of it. Super easy, because that's what I teach. Easy. You can find that on our website, CherylTownsley.com. So back to Friday morning. This was off. And so Forrest so graciously set me down and helped me with a pencil push-up, because this is a rehab when the eyes have gotten stressed. And so you can use a pencil, but this is bigger than the pencil, so this is easier for the eyes to focus. And by putting a letter on it, what you're doing is you're teaching the eyes how to focus, and you're basically going to bring the ball in, keeping the eyes on, and bring it out. And what you want is for the eyes to converge and then come back out. Now, when I was doing it, I couldn't tell what my eyes were doing. Before I said they were going all over the place. But here's the thing. When you're in trauma and overwhelm, you have no clue what your eyes are doing, what your brain's doing, and what your body's doing. I had someone who could track it, and they helped me to calm down. Another tool that I used is a little homeopathic that we have. I don't think it's on our website, but you can call the office. It's called EU Stress. It helps to calm the brain when it's under way too much stress. So I did both of those. I worked on some emotional work because I had gone over my boundaries when I knew I needed to stop. Forrest and I were able to talk. That's such a blessing, because I was able to say, I asked you to reschedule that appointment. And Forrest responded, you could have been firmer. And I responded, you could have listened. We actually said it in this tone of voice. So we were both able to repent. I repented for not being firmer, and Forrest repented for not listening. We actually had a breakthrough out of that. We knew how to rehab. We knew how to support my nervous system. I knew how to engage my health team because I have a relationship with each and every one. I worked on the emotional. I worked with someone who knew how to reset all the cranial bones. I have continued to do my brain rehab. I've reset cranial nerves. I had a toolkit. We knew how to assess and reassess. We knew who to engage, and I gave myself permission to rest. So I rested on Friday, and I did my drills. And Friday night, after I started Friday morning, within 12 hours, I was walking on my own. Folks, that's a big deal from where I started Friday morning. I had been able to step out of here and step out of, I'm okay. I'm okay. I paced myself on Saturday. I was co-hosting a big party on Sunday, somebody's 50th. I had all kinds of plans I had originally intended to do, and I scaled them down to what I could do, because I had learned on Thursday I didn't have as much capacity for what was safe as I thought. So I rested, I paced, I did what I could on Saturday. I was walking fine, no nausea, did great. Lost some weight in the process. I don't recommend that as weight loss techniques. And Sunday enjoyed the party, but I even paced myself then. So what am I saying in all of this? Because I don't want to give you overwhelm. When you're experiencing overwhelm and inflammation and pain and nausea and you can't sleep, all of those are common ways for this part of your brain to say, I'm not safe. You're overloading me, and I don't know what to do except begin to shut down your life to try to keep you alive. And that is what happened to me Thursday evening. But because I have a toolkit, I know how to assess and reassess, and I know how to rehab. I know what rest looks like. I knew what to eat in that moment because I have access to all of that and a team. In my mid-60s, this didn't shut me down. It was just an amazing learning opportunity. Now, if you're not in that place and you don't know how to assess or reassess, and you don't have a toolkit, you don't have a community to support you, you can take all the right supplements, eat all the right food, and you're missing the keys that allow you to work with your brain to increase capacity. That's what we do at Lifestyle for Health, is teach you how to work with your brain to increase capacity of perceived safety instead of experiencing the consequences of diminished safety. So I encourage you to step out of where you are and discover how you can activate your brain, work with your brain, understand that there's a very real stress bucket and it's different for every single person. My stress bucket isn't yours and vice versa, but you can discover what yours is. You can learn how to assess and reassess. You can activate all the spark plugs in your brain, the fuses that cause your brain to feel, oh, I'm feeling safe. I'll let her go upstairs and function as a normal human being. So I encourage you, don't settle for where you are. Know there's options, and all the options must be easy. That's a trademark for Cheryl Townsley. Working with your brain, letting it be easy so you can truly experience real results and create the vitality and health that you desire at any age. CherylTownsley.com. And I encourage you to step into Activate Your Brain, which you can find on our website. Overcoming a faceplant on concrete, overcoming vertigo. It's pretty easy when you have the tools and you know how to assess and reassess. CherylTownsley.com. Your answer to those questions you have come to think have no answers. No, they're just keys. And we can give you the keys and the interpretation to create the results that you're looking for.